A warm welcome to you all. Welcome to Lesson 10. Thank you to our anonymous sponsor. Partner with Mr. Anonymous. There is a unique sponsorship link in the description below. To make Chassidus accessible to you all, we are learning terminology. We will unlock Chassidus with the text which we're learning, which is called the key to Chassidus. There is a document in the description below which has the terminology and the text that we're going to be learning today. By just knowing English, you already have a deep idea in the definitions of the Holy Tongue, Lashon HaKodesh. You already know the definitions. You only need to open your eyes. This week, we're going to do double of what we did last week. But all the words are really, really easy. So we're going to be able to go through all of them. There's 20 words, but they're all easy. So let's do the first one. We're going to say the Lashon HaKodesh first, the Holy Tongue, and then the English. Kara. The English word to help you remember what kara means, which means to call out, is the word cry out. Kara, to cry out. Kara, cry out. Lashon, it actually means a language, but the English word to help you remember it, it's a bit of a shuffle. In other words, the same sounds basically, but not the same order. Slang. Lashon, slang. Lashon, slang. Now, the next one is Gemara. Gemara is the English word grammar, which means a text. The word Gemara is the English word grammar, which means a text. But Gemara also is an acronym for Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, Michal, Raphael, and Uriel, which are the four legs of the divine chariot. Because when you study Gemara, you become a chariot to God. So Gemara, grammar. The word shame in Lashon HaKodesh English, semantics, which means a name. Shame, semantics. Iyun is like the English, like ayin in Lashon HaKodesh is I. They're almost the same. Like ayin is I. So iyun is to look deeply. Ayin is I. So iyun is to look deeply. Now the word kamoi is the word common. It means just like, but what is common? And if you read kamoi backwards, it's the word mock, which means to imitate, that's the same idea of kamoi, something's like, we're imitating. So you either read it backwards like mock, or read it like forward, which is common. What's common, like this, like that, and you remember it. The next one is amar. Amar is to speak, which is the English word to remember is murmur. It's a little of a shuffle, but amar, murmur. The next word is garas. Garas means grazing on the grass. Garas, grazing on the grass. It's a bit about surface learning, because when you learn something on a surface, you're grazing on the grass. The next word is rak, which means only, but the way to remember is to rake away. When you rake away something, you only have whatever's left on the floor underneath. The next word is davar. It's a shuffle. Verd. It's the same sounds, just shuffled. Verd, davar, verd. The next word is hashkafa. Hashkafa, the English word, hashkafa, scope. Hashkafa, scope. The next word is rosh, means a head. Like Rosh Hashanah is the head of the year. But the English word is to rise. It's a beginning. The rise is a beginning. Rosh, it's a head. The next word is shayleches, which is like the word lech, which is like the word walk. Lech, walk, look. Walk, lech, to walk. Next one is noivas, bubble. Noivas is bubble. It's like an explosion. Bas, it bubbles out. The next one is b'mehirus. Mehirus, hurry. B'mehirus it really means hurry. The next one is bilti. Bilti is, we're going to read the baal, like the bilti comes from the word baal. Baal is a reversal of baal, read it backwards. It's a reversal of love. So bilti means it isn't. So when you don't have love, it's the opposite. So bilti means the opposite of love, because you read Baal backwards, you get love. So we're doing the opposite of love, which is not. The next word is ikov. The word to remember is hoof. It actually is to be held back on the hoof. The next one is va'amada. We already learned this one, just going over it again. Mada is mot, which means something that stops a forward progression. So amada means to stand. A mot stops a forward progression. Klal is like the English word kal, which is like to kill an animal. Kal, because klal means not at all, like to kill, like you're killing an animal, like not at all. And the last one is kiyadua. Yudua is like dea, which is like data. Kiyudua, like it's known. Data is information, like it's known. Now let's go and read inside. Let's read some of the key to Chassidus inside. We are speaking about deep learning. Hanikra, which is cried out. Belashon in the slang Hagemara of the grammar of the text of the Gemara. B'shem in the semantics of Iyun, to look in. That's what deep learning means. It means to look in. Like intimacy, right? Iyun, to look in. K'mei Amar, like it's like k'mei, like common. She'amar, like the murmur, like it's written, like the murmur. B'mesachta Sukkah, in the tractate of Sukkah. Ha Lemigras. One form of learning is called grazing on the grass, which is surface learning. And the point is that the information, that the words of the information is in your mouth, like you're grazing the grass and chewing the grass, and the grass is always in your mouth. So you can say, you could quote verbatim what you're learning because you're grazing on the grass. L'Iuny, and the other form of learning is I in. Iyun, to put the I in. Iyun, I in. You're putting your I in deeply into something. So on the festival of Sukkot, because we're speaking about the tractate of Sukkah, when you're learning Torah, should you learn it in the Sukkah or at home? So the Gemara answers that if you're grazing on the grass, you're learning surface learning, you should do that inside a Sukkah. But if you're learning Iyun, to look in, your eye is going in to learn deeply, you're going to need no distractions and therefore learn at home. It continues inside. Pirush HaGirsa, the explanation of Girsa, of grazing on the grass type learning. Hurak, it's only rake. Rake means only. It's only Havana Sadavar. We already know this word, to bone up, right? Havana Sadavar, to bone, to really understand Hadavar, the word. Ba'ashkafa Rishoina, with the scope rise. With the scope rise. In other words, when the scope rises and you just see it the first time, shehaleches, walk, when it walks, v'nebas, and it bubbles, surface learning walks and bubbles, b'mehirus, in a hurry, b'mehirus, in a hurry, bilti, like the opposite of love. In other words, it isn't without equal hoofing, in the same spot, va'amada, and moting, like being held back, because that's what you should be doing when you when your eye is going in. When you're learning iyun, when your eye is going in, you should actually be hoofing back, and the forward process should be held back, like with a moat. You have to put a moat in front of yourself when you're learning le'iyun deeply, because you need time. Klal means without hoofing and stopping klal at all, like the word kal. Kiyadua, like the dea, like it's known. And that is the learning from this week. Now, but there is a practical, and the practical you can already see. The practical is do some surface learning with the intent to be grazing on the grass, that it's fluent in your mouth, and also start doing some deep learning where your eye goes in. Explain this to a friend. The best way you become a learner is by becoming a teacher yourself. Become a teacher yourself. And share this video. Like this video. Subscribe to spread to the world. It really makes a difference. See you in the next lesson.